Exactly what we wanted. So this is where, are you recording? Okay.
Welcome again to It Doesn't Take a Genius, conversation with introspective perspectives and pithy points of view. Here are your hosts, my friends, Max and Marty.
I think that's Mark and Mike.
Yeah, whatever.
Ramsey! Marshall, you are looking really cool today, as am I, frankly.
Oh, you have a Joe Cool vibe. I mean, you always do, but you've plussed it up with your Capital One sunglasses.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And the question the audience is asking is, why do they have matching sunglasses?
You know, I think that's a great question from our audience members, both of them. And I would like to give an answer. I think I could start by saying, do you remember when I texted you and said, hey, you should, next time we're both in Cincinnati, you should meet me at the Capital One Cafe?
Yes. And I thought, what are banks, what type of food do banks serve?
Right.
Is it an Italian? Is it Mexican? Yeah. What's the cuisine like in a bank cafe?
Oh, it's lettuce, baby.
Yeah. Oh,
see what I did there?
Yeah. Lots of cabbage.
Cabbage.
Yes. I was. I didn't get it. I'll be honest with you. I was like, okay. Then you doubled down in an email or two. Hey, I'll go there first, and then you can meet me there.
Yeah.
Like, no. It's in a mall.
Right.
Last time I was in the mall, I was wearing my members only jacket, and it was cool. So. Yeah, so somehow you convinced me to join you. And what did we find in the mall? What did you find in the mall?
Well, let me backtrack a little bit because I don't go to the mall either. It's a very nice mall, Kenwood Town Center in Cincinnati, but I don't tend to go there. And what I do is I go to museums with my kids. We homeschool. And so we're at the art museum middle of the day on a weekday. And the Capital One was sponsoring some ceramic art, which is near and dear to Cincinnati art scene's hearts. Sort of some hip hop, ceramics, and modern and cool. And Capital One sponsoring it. Okay, cool. Corporations sponsor art. That's done. But there's a pile at the door of notebooks and pens with the Capital One logos. I'm a sucker for those, so I'll pick those up. And then there's some little coupons, little business card sized coupons. And I said, what is this? And they said, oh yeah, you can get a free coffee when you go to Capital One Cafe. And I assumed they were talking about some place inside the art museum. No. At the mall, there is a coffee shop / workspace that we went to visit. I went there first and found where it was. You went there and walked right by it.
Yeah. You said, join me at the Capital One Cafe. And yeah, I'm on, and you even said it's across from the Apple store.
Yeah.
So I'm walking along. I see the Apple store. I noticed, just a few miles down, in mall miles, the cafe, the food court. So I'm like, okay, it's cafe, must be in the food court. So I walked right past the place that, you asked me to meet you at. And I even texted you like, where's it at again?
Right.
Like directly across from the Apple store. Like, all right, I'm just gonna go with it. So I turn around, leave the food court, back to this building, this storefront in the mall that I never in a million years would have walked into.
Right.
Just because it defies description. It registered nowhere in my brain that I might be interested in the contents of this space. And I walked in and was greeted by two of the friendliest people probably on the planet. And then they directed me to you, and you were in this fabulous personal space kind of thing that was just totally cool.
Yeah, so there's a coffee shop, station in the middle, Pete's Coffee, sort of a West Coast brand that's, I would say a definite step up from Starbucks. and there's some really cool sort of lounging chairs, study chairs, work group chairs, tables, little things they call nooks where you can have a private space with some, sort of walls closing in, partitions closing you in, all sorts of stuff. And Mike, I've now been there twice, and it's fairly busy. And also, both times I've seen multiple people walk in and say, "What is this?" and get the tour like I received. So, so anyway, we've got some footage that we're going to show you, but I guess let's go ahead and talk about the thing that makes this interesting to you and I, because we're CX, professionals, I guess you could say, and customer experience is near and dear to our heart. And why the heck does a bank have a coffee shop / work area that's not in the food court but is in a mall? What are they doing? And you and I were batting that around, and you said the phrase, it's the experience economy. So why don't you explain what we mean by that?
Well, Mark, I'm glad you asked. So you're looking at it, and how do you differentiate a bank? They're all large, they control all our lives, and they have all the money. So if I'm going to set myself apart from the competition, I have to create a persona, personality, warmth, and heart. And they've created this space, and we talked about this while we were in the space, at no expense spared. This, just mall footage alone, I would imagine the price of mall real estate directly across from the Apple store is probably even a little pricier. So you get this wonderfully large, basically kind of like a co-workers type of space where you could go in and do that. Only it's free.
Yep.
Wonderful coffee shop. And you're thinking, okay, how do I, as a bank, create an impression so that when people think of my name, they think warm, they think cutting edge, they think heart. I'm creating all these human emotions around something that is, usually just a logistical, transactional kind of experience. And lo and behold, they've pulled it off with this space.
Yeah. So we've worked a lot in automotive, and we would often tell our clients, car dealerships, that quality is the price of entry with automobiles. Used to, you wouldn't say nice things about Hyundais and Kias. Now you would, right? They're decent cars. That's kind of what it has to be. It has to be a decent car to be sold in the US market, which means it's a commodity. As much as you hate to say it, you can get plenty of cars that can get you from here to there safely and affordably. It's a commodity in that sense. So you have to set yourself apart. Now you can do that with styling and things that come with the car, but often case it's the brand identity that's wrapped around that car and that car brand, which means that the experience that the customer goes through becomes really important. If that's true with cars, my goodness, I can get 1% certificates of deposit here and here and here. Why would I, if the Federal Reserve is controlling a lot of the interest rate anyway, like, what's it matter where I go do my banking? Well, it matters if you care enough about the experience that it's communicating to you what they're like, and that they do have a persona. So that, and enter Capital One Cafe, right? It's setting Capital One apart.
Oh yeah. It's there's nothing like I'd ever seen before, and truly amazing that the service was being provided. And you don't know how it's going to evolve. Is this going to be like a pop-up kind of thing where it pops up for 3 months and then moves to a different mall and shows up again, or is this become a permanent part of their business? And these things are all over the place. But we've talked quite a bit about it. Why don't we show them what we saw?
Let's roll that beautiful bank footage.
Mark, fancy fighting here at the Capital One Cafe. What's going on?
Mike, this is a customer experience. And so we decided to come here and shoot a little footage and talk about what does this mean and how do they make it happen.
But first, show us around.
You know, let me first show you our nook. You can reserve this for an hour at a time. You know, handicap accessible, plenty of plugs, couches, chairs, you know, this nice mood lighting, a little bit of art. I mean, pretty cool, right?
Oh, very cool, very cool.
Yeah. Come with me this way. Money and Life mentoring. You can get 3 sessions for free, I'm told. It's a restroom for all the genders.
Oh, no one's excluded.
I just want you to hear this. Sorry, I went to sleep there. It's so calming.
It is so peaceful, and the smell. There's some aromatherapy going on. Yeah, not like a, I don't know, bathroom smell.
Yeah.
All right, what else do we have, Mark?
So all sorts of stuff, frankly. We're taking you from the back to the front. I guess, you know, you might want to just, you can't pan over because there's some customers here all the way, but hey, there's this community room with walls. It can be reserved. There's local art on the walls here. On this side, you'll notice this lovely Pete's Coffee Cafe. They make a very nice cortado. I was impressed, I will say. And notice all the, the white color, sort of the chill atmosphere. Lots of different textures. You got a brick wall, you got a smooth wall, you got these slats, different kinds of fabric on the chairs. It's kind of cool. So we'll talk about this, Mike, I'm sure in more detail, but the big thing here is that I didn't really know if I wanted to come in because it seemed a little weird. And a real person met me at the door and answered real questions and asked some real questions herself, and that was the thing that brought me in. This really wouldn't work without the people. So by the way, you could do your banking here. They have some banking ambassadors, I think is what they're called. And by the way, at Pete's Coffee, if you have a Capital One card, 50% off. So this is where I came in from the mall, and I was sort of like, what is this? I don't know exactly where I am. And there was Jenna, and also later her friend Olivia. Who,
welcome to the Capitalonecafe.
See, that's what she did to me. And she gave me a tour of everything I just showed you. It was very impressive.
So, Jenna, what's the usual reaction when people walk in here?
They say, so, what is this place? It really is. It's like a whole thing.
And what do you say?
I say, well, this is Baking Reimagined. Absolutely.
Aww.
That's exactly what she said.
And we're back. So you got to see a little bit of the facility and even hear the voice of one of its wonderful workers. So Mark, what makes this more than an odd coffee shop in a strange location with some study hall areas?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what my concern was, sort of walking up to the door, like, what is this? And but you met Jenna, and we'll definitely give Jenna a shout out. You even heard her say it. This is Banking Reimagined. That's literally the brand that they're going to market with at Capital One. That's what's on the sign that's in the video. And so for her to know that is one of the ways we know that she's bought in. I'll tell you honestly, I don't think I would have done much more than just sort of step in and look around if it hadn't been for Jenna engaging me proactively and saying, hey, welcome to Capital One Cafe. Can I help you with anything? And, I said something about my ignorance of it, and she said, oh, can I give you a tour? And so she literally walked the loop with me and showed me all the things that I pretty much showed in the video. And I don't think that the whole thing would have worked if she hadn't done that. That was the moment where I felt comfortable enough to sit down and go, yeah, you know what? I will stay here. This isn't weird at all that I'm for free getting to sit in a coffee shop. I did find out, by the way, that her manager is called a coach. I found out that Jenna had been proactively pursuing a position with Capital One, and was tickled to be there. And I'll tell you, I went back the second time and I saw more coworkers who were just as friendly and engaged. I think the experience doesn't work without the people. I think this all boils down to the people having to be bought in and able to deliver on what you're trying to accomplish with that promise that your brand is making with that experience. If they don't do it, the whole thing's kind of a wash. So kudos to Capital One.
Oh yeah, yeah. They went out and found some Chick-fil-A-ish people.
Yep.
Yeah, had a lot of that. Seemed like I had a lot of that that kind of welcoming, professional, persona. And yeah, you could tell she understood why she was there. She understood what the purpose of the space was, and she was more than excited to give you a tour and explain the idea behind it without any hesitation. I mean, enthusiastically wanted to get you involved with this place.
Funny you mentioned that, because guess who showed up on my first visit was a Chick-fil-A employee on his break, and he was clearly a regular.
Well, yeah. Where else are you going to find more people like you?
Right.
Yeah. My tribe. Yeah. Friendly, pleasant people are gathering here. I should be with them.
Right.
And off I go. I think to me, one of the things that we talked about when we were there is we went on the walking tour that you saw. So we walked literally all around this space, and at the same time, we're in a big city, we're in a mall, and Mark felt perfectly comfortable. I don't even think that you thought about it. You just left your laptop sitting out on the table.
Yep.
And we just completely walked all the way to the other end of the building.
Yep.
It felt that much like home that quickly.
Yeah.
But yeah, with the wonderful people and the inviting space, it's like, yeah, we're just leave our stuff lying around. Yep. and thought nothing of it. You have to imagine that, yeah, some people, they probably go pee and don't close the door. It just feels like home. So yeah, that to me was pretty startling when you think about, we felt that safe that fast.
Right. They did a really nice job with, sort of putting together the place, engineering the place, and then engineering the experience that you are taken through when you go there. But again, I mean, all of that's for nothing if the people aren't delivering it. So that's probably, our application for this very odd episode with video footage shot on site. That, what are you doing? What are you trying to deliver with your experience at your organization? And do you have your people bought into that? Do they understand the why? Do they understand the purpose? Do they have a process to walk through? Again, it's all for naught if they don't deliver.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, you've got to think about what's next when it comes to experience. What else can I do? And this was certainly an example of the, outside the box. I'm sure when it was pitched at the corporate boardroom, here's our idea for building our brand. We're going to have a coffee shop and a workspace, and we're going to give it away.
Right.
All right, Bob's off his meds. Anybody else got any ideas? That could have been the first round of pitch for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that had to be rough. So.
Yeah. And there's a few other companies that have done such a thing, right? I mean, we've got Nordstrom's has some, I can't remember if they've only got a couple locations or if it's bigger than that now, but sort of some, work places that you can also drop off your shipping to and get your pants hemmed and so on. But this is they do banking. I mean, you can go there and use the ATM and talk to a, like we said, a banking ambassador, but it's, it's not about that. It's about reimagining what Capital One appears like to the rest of the world as a bank.
Oh yeah, no, I think it's fantastic, a great learning opportunity. And if you see one, don't be like me. Go ahead, venture in, check it out. You're going to find some amazing people and have an amazing experience. So pretty cool.
Yeah, and let's just plug two quick things. One is the YouTube version of this is going to have the footage that you can see instead of just hear. So we do encourage you to go to the YouTube channel, which is it Success Amplified? Is that
that is correct?
Success Amplified. So visit that for this episode. The other plug is we did not get paid any money for this. So this is just us talking, just so we're clear. We don't have big corporate sponsors.
But we were easily purchased with nice sunglasses.
We did get some.
Yeah, we did get each got matching sunglasses. So if you're thinking you need us to do an episode on your business or you know, operation services or whatever, yeah, see what kind of swag you got in the back. Might be able to hook you up. Word.
Oh dear. Turn it off. We're done.
Take it away.
And that's a wrap. The musings of Mark and Mike. No rights reserved, etc. Feel free to share and discuss what you heard today. Even claim the ideas as your own. Who'd want to do that? See you next time on It Doesn't Take a Genius. Thanks.
That's good enough.